Hey, Maria, back with another video. It's like 10:25 Tuesday morning, and I woke up maybe about an hour or so ago, maybe an hour and a half, maybe somewhere around there. I have been having a hard time getting to sleep, only because of everything that's been going on, and being stressed out and not really being able to relax. And it's very difficult to, be relaxed when you're stressed out about bills and stuff like that. I was thinking today, I had a conversation with a really good friend who I enjoy very much and appreciate very, very much. And it's good to know that, you have someone to talk to going through this, because I will tell you it is a very stressful situation. The only bad part about it is, she's not close by, and I wish that she was, because if she was, I certainly wouldn't be dealing with a lot of the anxiety. She's great company, and I wish that we lived closer proximity. It's unfortunate. But, she did give me a suggestion, and I did appreciate her suggestion. And she was basically saying that, employers look at social media. And I appreciate her feedback, because, unfortunately, a lot of people do use social media as a reference point as to how to identify a person. And, I mentioned this before, like how some people, you could be anybody on Facebook. And, oftentimes, just looking at somebody's pictures and some of the activities that they participate in is not necessarily giving them a good idea of what a person really is. Now, on my original Facebook page, and my Facebook page now, I would say the activity on there is mostly just me coming in on my Facebook page. Maybe every once in a blue moon, I might post like a picture, or I kind of participate in some of the social groups that I belong to. My previous Facebook page, which I believe is what got all this shit stirred up, really had less activity on it than I would say that this one did. I mean, I only had like maybe 140 something friends on there on Facebook. Rarely did I ever pop in on Facebook. Only once in a blue moon. And but whatever the case is oftentimes people are basing it on what other people might be saying about you, and that is a very bad indication of or guideline to go by when it comes to getting people's character. Now, I know that some people post what I call silly pictures of them, like maybe they're indulging in like, alcoholic beverages, not just like a drink, but I'm talking about it looks as though they live a party life. And so where somebody might think, well, I don't know about that person. But even still, I mean, that could just be a special social occasion that they're going on, or that they participate in, which a lot of people do that anyway. So I think sometimes people get the wrong idea about social media. Now, I don't have anything on my social media relating to social media that's going to make me look like I'm a bad person, because I'm not a bad person. I'm very glad that I make my YouTube videos, because and I do encourage other targeted individuals to speak out about it, because oftentimes, like I said, this whole program works on gossip and assumptions. And then, like I said, those two, gossip and assumptions, can formulate into people believing and carrying things out. And so, oftentimes, people think just because it's a popular fad, or it's just because everybody does it, like, a lot of employers check things like social media or Facebook or whatever, just because it's in wide circulation and a lot of people are doing it, doesn't mean it's a wise thing to do. I don't believe that social media is a good indication of a person's personality. Oftentimes, people project an image of themselves, whether they're trying to look cool or whatever, or they're trying to look like they're rich people when they really can't rub two nickels together. There's a lot of, what do you call it, play acting that goes on in social media, and I think a lot of people are kind of trying to fake it till they make it, kind of thing, So I don't agree with people basing your character on that. Now, the reason why I'm glad that I made my videos, like I said, is because this whole program is fueled by gossip, assumptions, and it's generated, of course, initially by my blood relations, and I believe also Joel's family, and which I know I'm getting tired of mentioning both sides of the people. They're not even like related to me anymore. I don't have any connections to them, so for the employers that are in my local area, and I don't. Okay, there is no legal issue relating to them. I don't have any connection, legal or anything, with these people, and I'm basically severing ties, and I feel as though I've done it in a very civil way. I don't believe that I should hate Joel. I don't hate Joel, but I also know that I don't ever really want to see him again. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's time to sever ties. And I'm very grateful for it, I'm not the kind of person that wants to merge what I do on social media, like the videos that I talk about. When I go to work or whatever, I have no intentions of talking about my issues relating to being a target individual, only in the sense that letting the employer know that I have a stalker and I don't want to be disrupted at work. Okay, that is a requirement to protect me from those outside forces that should come into the workplace. And if an employee makes that request, it is up to the employer to grant that. Okay, I don't have anything to do with either side. Okay, so that goes for my decision to whatever job I have. While I'm at the job, I'm not interested in being critiqued by any weirdos. I'm just on my own. So I'm very glad that I made those videos because had I not, I would have been walking around with people judging me based on something that I had nothing to do with, And so it's easy to, for people to promote their own point of view when you're silent, and even worse, you don't even really know what's going on. Now, last night I was thinking on my couch, I'm getting close to making 600 videos. 600. And I kept thinking, gosh, that's kind of amazing, that I've been going on with this issue for the longest time, talking about all of the stuff that's happened. Almost 600 videos. I think it's almost 2 years I've been on YouTube talking about this, little by little, putting pieces together. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I did because it talked about the certain situations that happened. And I do believe that, I was listening to a podcast yesterday about how, it's just time to move on. I need to formulate I need to get back to work, okay? That's my main goal. I don't want to have any sort of issue or constantly bring up the injustices that were inflicted upon me because I do think that it's productive at this point. But I will say, looking back, I'm very glad that I made those videos because now I have, a log basically saying, okay, this led to this, but it connects the dots. Okay, and there's still a lot of things I still don't know, okay? But obviously, those videos help me, internally. Also, I do think that my videos help because, I can tell by the attitude of a lot of the people that I meet in town that I'm not dealing with this much hostility. There's still going to be some people out there that are going to be like, well, they're just hateful, and people are going to hate. If somebody's a hateful person, they're going to hate anyway, okay? There's nothing you can do or say to change their mind, okay? And it's unfortunate. But, well, not really. I mean, that's just the way of life, really. But, when you have nothing to hide, when you are completely innocent in a situation, then you can make videos. You could talk about it. You could throw it all out there. I don't have any issue or problems with throwing it out there. I really don't. I don't, do I still have, resentment towards Joel's family? I don't even really want to think about him. I don't really think about Joel at all. Really, I don't. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's time for me to sever ties. Even though he's done things that I don't agree with, I try to see things from his point of view. I do understand that his situation, his mindset, how he developed his way of thinking. And I can't say that it's entirely his fault, you know what I mean? But at the same time, sometimes people have such a bad experience that there's nothing that in the world that could ever rectify that. And so I wish him well. I do. I wish him well. I wish him well. I don't want him to be in pain or anything like that. Some people think, well, that's kind of a really forgiving thing to say. I try to understand where people are coming from. You know what I mean? I don't want to do anything malicious to him. I don't. You know what I mean? I just want to move on, and that's the best way. But going back to my original, do I resent him? Yes. Do I ever want to see him again? No. Okay? I don't ever want to see him again, and I won't. You know what I mean? Except for when I finally take my shit out of that house and move it here, and I still have to come up with money to do that. So, I mean, there's still things I have to do, but I don't ever want to, we'll never have another conversation again. We won't. Okay? Now, back to the video. I do. I do encourage targeted individuals to talk about it. And put everything out there. You know, I do think it's a good thing to, now I won't name names anymore, okay, but I do think that it's important to name names in the very beginning. Why? Because that reduces the confusion because there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that is never going to be told to you, and there's people who are involved that shouldn't be involved. You know what I mean? And so while the community knows who's involved, and you're not supposed to know exactly who's involved, by you throwing it out there, it resolves the issue. You know what I mean? And so, like, for example, when I brought up his family, certain members of his family, I'm a little shocked that would do something like that, especially since I've never invited them into, anything relating to any of my goals. My goals are very personal, and it's not about me being arrogant or anything. I'm a woman. I recognize myself as a woman who is on her own, who has to take care of herself, period, okay? Doesn't matter if I was, if I came from a wealthy family or if I was married to the most wealthiest man in the world. I feel I'm the kind of person, I don't feel safe. I never will feel safe. I would never, if I had a rich husband, for example, I would be terrified of that man. Okay? I have gone through a lot in my life. Okay? So therefore, I would never walk away from my goals or my ability to take care of myself. I wouldn't. I would never let anybody take care of me. That's just how I am. Okay? I've dealt with too much abuse in my life to feel safe. And nothing will ever change that. So I'm a woman who has to do it. It's not because I'm trying to prove anything. It's just it's a basic way of life, period. You know what I mean? It's just the situation that I've been dealt with and the circumstance I've been dealt with, and that's how I deal with it. You know what I mean? I realize I don't have, what do you call it? I don't have those choices in life, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of individuals who, like myself, comes from abusive families, narcissistic families, people who screw up their shit and whatever, and you just have to, keep moving, you know what I mean? It just has to be that way. So I will say, I'm hoping that, people will circulate my message and that, I don't want to be baited anymore. I don't, okay? I don't have money. I do not have money, okay? I don't have money to run around to job interviews. Sometimes it takes, I usually leave my car like close to like the E level, okay, seriously. And for me to put money in my car, my gas tank, to go to a job interview or try to do anything costs me money and it costs me time. I don't have time to play around. I don't. I mean, I barely make enough money right now to eat and live. Okay, so for people to waste my time, it's unappreciated, and I look at it as a threat to my life. I do, and so it's not appropriate. It just isn't, So you wonder, like, what is in people's minds to do that? You know what I mean? I think it's sick. I really do. But yeah, the social media. There's a lot of things that employers do, or just people who think that it's a good idea. Or that's a a great tool. I don't think it's a good tool at all. I really don't. And I disagree with it. You know, like I said, just because something is a common belief doesn't mean it's right. Take, for example, how everyone thought that just because somebody threw out the word Christian, that their cause was right, okay? But it was completely 100% wrong. And you think of all the people who got involved in this, people think, oh, there's strength in numbers. Oftentimes, you know, there's not strength in numbers. Oftentimes, there's a lot of control, and there could be deception in numbers, okay? Anytime you need a bunch of people to gang up on one person, you got to question, why would they do that? Why would they do that? And oftentimes, those reasons are wrong. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. I do appreciate her suggestion, and I think it's a very understandable one, especially since so many people have admitted to using social media as a reference point. The reference point should be your resume, the previous employers that you worked for, and the skills that you did, period. Anything else, to me, I can't even understand that. Oh, I mean, LinkedIn, I would say, is another good resource if it was used properly. Most people don't use LinkedIn in a proper fashion, I think. Oftentimes, people are using it, I don't know, I don't know. I've seen some things that are posted on YouTube, like some people have posted in the past, certain articles or whatever that don't relate to employment, and I wonder, people need to put things in little boxes, you know? Like LinkedIn's for LinkedIn, Facebook is for Facebook, and, you know, all these other things they have their place, you know, and I'm the kind of person, it just makes sense. It's there for a reason. Sometimes people kind of deviate from what those things are really originally for. So anyway, I've got some things to do. I've got to balance my checkbook, which isn't much, okay, mind you, but I need to get my work search going, and I'm basically saying, don't waste my time. I don't have time for it. I don't. I think it's a form of abuse. It's not warranted, you know. I mean, if anybody should be getting harassed, it should be my narcissistic ex-family members, okay? But somehow or another, you know, I'm constantly being, you know, toyed with. I don't want to be toyed with, okay? I'm a woman who has a very serious mission in life, meaning I have to take care of myself, okay? And, you know, that's the only thing a person should be considering. You know, to not consider that, to waste somebody's time, is just absolutely, it's evil, in my opinion. And I do look at these people as demonic, people that think it's okay to toy with the person in the situation that I'm in, or anybody else would be in. It's like, I would never have the heart to do something like that. It's kind of weird. Anyway, wrapping up this video, I've got things to do today, and I will be continuing my job search a little bit later. I'm going to kind of rest as much as I possibly can. I'm going through a lot of anxiety, and what do you call it, insomnia. So, like, I didn't go to bed till, like, after 1 last night, and, you know, this has been going on for quite a while, you know, and so I try to get up and work on art projects or whatever, to keep my, you know, to let the excess energy, you know, dissipate, you know. And so I was going to show you my completed art project. I might do that really quick. Nah, I think I won't, because I only have a minute left on this. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I will be back on another one later. Have a wonderful day.